Right guys, welcome to the fourth and final part of Strength Camp for MMA Fighters. So in this fourth and final part, I'm going to be looking at recovery, including recovery strategies, when to implement them, and just basically any other business that we need to cover while we're in that training program. So the first thing we'll look at, and for me the most important, is sleep. It doesn't really matter how fancy the program is, it doesn't matter how hard you work, it doesn't matter how well periodised your structure is for your training block. If you're not getting enough sleep, you're not going to be training as optimum as possible. That includes performance for your fighters. Quite oftentimes, my guys will be training twice a day. If they can do, I know they'll be trying to get like a little bit of a nap in between during the day, so whether it's like a 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour nap. If they can do that, then I totally encourage them to do that. First thing that I'd advise is for any kind of sleep pattern is first of all creating a sleep pattern, get some structure, go to bed at the same time every day, waking up at the same time every morning. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to spend that amount of time actually in bed sleeping. It might take a little bit longer to get to sleep, but what I would suggest is getting used to being in bed for that time, so at least if you're not sleeping, you're at least resting. Second step for me is diaphragmatic breathing. If you don't know what that is, if you have a look through some other YouTube videos, go through an explanation of what that is. So diaphragmatic breathing is kind of getting out of the position of chest breathing, where we've got the ribs flaring up and down, taking short, shallow breaths, into more deep diaphragmatic breathing, getting more oxygen in the lungs per breath. Diaphragmatic breathing is something that you can add into any time, so we can add that into our warm-up. What I usually do is throw it at the end. So at the end of any workout, I'll, especially if they've been a hectic training schedule and they kind of look back at the end of it like they kind of need to really kickstart that recovery, switch on that parasympathetic nervous system. So what I tend to do, especially if I've got a hard session or if it's the second session of the day, I'll get them into 90-90 position on the wall, so feet against the wall, knees at 90 degrees, hips at 90 degrees, line onto the back, and just one hand on the chest, one hand on the stomach, and just concentrating on getting that stomach and surrounding, so like circumferential breathing, just breathing all around, so you're coming out from the belly, from the sides, back pressing into the floor. I'm just taking slow, deep breaths just to kickstart that recovery. Flip on that parasympathetic pathway and just kickstart all the things that are kind of bringing the body down, as opposed to having everything ramped up from training. Another strategy that I like, that I may incorporate quite a lot myself, and not just my fighters but pretty much everyone that I coach, is some form of meditation or mindset management. Going through some mindfulness strategies or techniques that you might be using. A good one is an app that I use called Headspace. It's not really something, I don't have any association with them or anything like that, I just find it a really good app. It's probably the best one that helped me over the last couple of years. I just find it really hard. I mean, there are lots and lots of different apps that you can do there, but for me personally, I've always found Headspace is one that works quite well. Also, the fourth strategy that I kind of recommend to my fighters, or to, again, anyone that I coach, is maybe do some light recovery. Not quite active recovery, but light conditioning, so maybe some light cardio, just to get the gears moving a little bit, get the heart pumping just enough, just to get warmed up, just to loosen up a touch. Not enough to cause fatigue. Again, the whole point of light conditioning as a recovery method is to promote recovery rather than adding more fatigue. So definitely not the time to be doing sprints on the bottom of the assault bike, or sprints up hills, or going for like a 10-mile run. Definitely not the time for that. It could be something as simple as, you know, just sticking something on Netflix, getting your heart rate up to about 120, 130, and just going for like a 20-30 minutes, kind of just some real light work. Maybe get a bit of a light sweat going. So the next thing I'll look at is when to implement these recovery strategies that we've just been talking about. For me personally, I'm always looking at how the athlete feels, how the athlete looks, how the athlete kind of responds through different kinds of activities throughout the week, throughout the session, throughout the month, throughout the block. If I'm slowly seeing like what we'll try to do is, if I see it at week 2 or week 3, if I start to see a dip in performance, by the time I get to like week 4, week 5, I'm already thinking of like bringing it back. I don't want to get to the point where the athlete is already tired. because once I've got to that point, it's got to the point where we have to really step back. So I'm trying to manage that before we get to that point. So sometimes it might feel to the fighters that I'm kind of putting the reins on a little bit too early. What I'm doing is I'm trying to stop the fighter from getting to the point where they're too fatigued. They're already fatigued, they're already run down. Really, it's a job of a coach to kind of get, again, as you develop a relationship with the fighters and you get a bit more communication, it's up to the coach to decide when we need to put the foot on the brake. Well, not necessarily putting the foot on the brake, but when to just ease the foot off the gas a little bit. So as a recap of the whole series, the first thing that we need to identify first is a goal. If we haven't got a goal, we just have no idea where we're supposed to be going to. We need to identify that at day one, whether that's going to be more explosive, to build up more strength, to improve their punching power, to improve their endurance. Whatever that goal is, that needs to be established at day one. Again, without having that goal, we're just on a kind of random road to nowhere. So once we've done that, it's going back to stage 2, which is identifying the weakness. This will be addressed in the assessment. The fighter probably knows what the weaknesses are anyway. If it's a certain thing that whether it's lower body strength or if they could do with improving their actual power output. So they might come to you with already an idea of what their weaknesses is, but a good assessment will identify that as well. And again, that is implemented into the program. Step 3, like we already mentioned, is the training that we do with the strength and conditioning coach that fits around their current training, not the other way around. I always go on about saying that strength coaches were last in the pecking order, and it's definitely true because their attention has got to be mostly on their specific sport. Stuff that they do with us is important, but if there was a choice if they had to drop one, they're not going to drop their specific kind of training in favour of strength and conditioning. So we've got to fit around what they're already doing. When it comes to exercise selection, we're going to be looking at things exercise that carry over to their sport. So will sumo deadlift necessarily carry over to the sport of MMA? Possibly not. Possibly quite a lot of time to recover from as well, because they are quite fatiguing and it does demand quite a lot of energy. Just take a few days to recover from. Will that transfer over well to an MMA fighter who's got a big training probably the day after? Probably not. So we've got to be a little bit more aware of the exercise selections that we do, what's going to carry over to the sport, what's going to benefit the fighter the most. Not really necessarily what looks good on Instagram. Once we've got all that in place, it's all about progressive overload. So every fighter starts at a different point. You might get some veteran fighters who've done a little bit of strength conditioning before, who always come with a pretty good base. Or you might be coming with a really young fighter that's quite new to the game, has never really lifted weights before. So obviously they're going to start at different points, but the principle's still the same. So we're starting off at a point, progressively overloading, so it's manageable for the fighter, enough to recover from, and enough to adapt as well. So it's just getting that balance just right. And really, this is not really a final step, but this should be a circle going around everything, if you will. So it's always managing recovery and always making sure adaptation is taking place. So again, we're kind of like, we're balancing those scales a little bit to make sure that the fighter is recovering enough. So we're putting the right amount of dosage of work and overload into that training so they can adapt properly, but we're not putting up too much where it tips right over and he's taking 3, 4, 5 days to recover. There's no way he should be taking 5 days to recover, not even 3 days. It should be fine to go to training again the next day. So it's a bit of a fine balancing act, but it's where you learn most as a coach. Thanks for watching this series. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed making it. I've never done a series like this before, but yeah, I really love doing it. I love training MMA fighters. If it's something that you want to talk about in more detail, then I'd love to, because I love to talk about training. There'll be a link somewhere in one of the corners to the rest of the videos if you've missed out on those. There's 4 parts altogether. I really appreciate you taking your time to go through these videos. Keep your eye out on my webpage, which I'm going to put along the bottom. There will be an ebook available on there, so if anyone wants to actually train the way that we train, following the templates that we use, following the strategies that we follow, that's going to be available soon on the website. So keep updated on that. I'll be putting things on Facebook and Instagram when that becomes available anyway. Again, thank you for spending your time watching these videos. Hope you enjoyed them. If you liked them, click like. If you really like them, click on share, and hope all this info kind of helps you in your training. Let me know if it does, and I'll catch you guys next time.